So, Civvl is betting on mass foreclosures and evictions. Are you? Welcome back, everybody. Such a pleasure to be back. My name is Alex Beltran, and I talk about real estate tricks, tips, and topics. So, if you want the latest on everything real estate related, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit that little bell so you and me, we can become best virtual friends. I don't know if you've heard the self-proclaimed Uber of real estate evictions, Civvl. I mean, the Uber of anything. I mean, that has to be the laziest way to describe a company. Not to mention, Uber's IPO was a complete failure. Civvl hires independent contractors to serve notices and remove people from their homes by hiring people that are in a hard situation themselves to do the landlord's or the bank's dirty work. I mean, this is capitalism, and welcome to the world of supply and demand. However, how much demand is there really? Like I mentioned in my last eviction video, I was going to monitor the eviction and the foreclosure process. And while there's no doubt that some landlords are trying to take advantage of the ambiguity of the eviction laws by trying to get tenants removed before tenants fully comprehend what is going on, it's hard to discern who is a landlord that's trying to take advantage of this situation and who is a landlord that is legitimately trying to evict a bad tenant. An eviction is basically a landlord's last resort to get a property back. Are there bad tenants in this world? Yes. Yes, there are. Do tenants sometimes goof up and things go wrong? Yes. Yes, they do. However, they are few and far between, especially if you qualify each and every single tenant. When you go to the doctors for a headache, the doctor will start asking you questions to diagnose you and offer you simple solutions before they start diving into more drastic measures. Reduce your stress, eat more salads, lay off those energy drinks. What? It would be a severe overreaction if you walked into a doctor's office, told the doctor you had a headache, and immediately he preps you for brain surgery. That is why it is so important to vet your tenants before you ever hand over the keys to that nest egg you call a rental property. And when it comes to getting the keys back and the tenant refuses, then, well, unfortunately, it's eviction time. As a landlord, you have to follow the law and not overreact. And I mean, I get it. I do. I have bills to pay myself. And as cut and dry as it is to say, you didn't pay, good day, get out, it's also not how the real world works, even in the most legitimate of cases. One look at the headlines and everything is grim. There is no solution in sight. However, if you get past the headlines and start reading into a couple paragraphs, you realize that while we are in very unprecedented times, clearly, we really aren't that far from normal in terms of the real estate market. Right now, we have forbearance in play for the people who need it because of the current situation that we are in. However, some people that didn't need it took forbearance anyway. The money that would normally go to pay their mortgage is being used for other things. Also, depending on the bank, there is no penalty for going through forbearance. All that is being done with the money that you owe is it's being put into a non-interest bearing account that you will have to pay at the end of your loan. So did some people have the money and basically use the system to their advantage to get themselves a free loan? I'm not going to discuss the morality of it here, but yes, they did. Now let's break down that whole delinquencies are now at a record high. Oh no, it's 2008 all over again. Let's pump the brakes a little. The reason why 2008 happened was because of greed and fraud. Banks were handing out ninja loans, no job, no income at variable rates. So people were enticed with very low interest rates with little to no down payment. So while lenders were coming down from their all-night cocaine benders and driving around town with a bottle of Jack and their suspended license, in the morning, they would have to attend their sales meetings, where lenders were getting paid incentives to give the largest loans possible. Which is why they didn't want your lousy down payment, because that would lower the amount they were loaning to you. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you can keep your money. In fact, do you have any credit card debt or car payments that you want to roll over into this mortgage? Because I mean, if you're gonna do this, you might as well do this once and do it right. So they did, on the promise that even if interest rates went up, they could always refinance. I mean, because real estate always appreciates in value. And then they can lock in that good rate. What could go wrong? Well, rates did go up. However, home prices went down. You know how markets always fluctuate in value. Just add that little special ingredient of greed and fraud and you got yourself a Michelin 5-star shit sandwich that you were forced to enjoy. Eventually, people went to their lenders and asked, hey, how about that refinance you told me I could get? You believe me? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you pulled out a loan on that ugly hunk of marble McMansion for $1 million, and we're gonna have to appraise it.
A few moments later.
So, good news, the appraisal came back and your house is only worth $450,000. Oh, no, I can't help you. Next. So people were forced to make a payment that they really couldn't afford because they really didn't qualify for that loan to begin with. And they were too underwater to sell for a profit. So they were forced to go either into foreclosure or a short sale, and they were pretty much screwed either way. And if you only had one loan to get out of, then you were considered one of the lucky ones, because there were some poor saps that spent their entire life savings on multiple high-end properties, thinking that they would continue to rise in value. In this current case in 2020, the market is going up. I network with several different agents around the US, and all of them are talking about how home prices are going up while interest rates are going down. So if you're a seller that is teetering between not being able to make your payment, there is a way out of this. You either refinance or sell. This goes without saying that it all depends on your current financial situation, but simply put, these exit strategies weren't available to people in 2008. Now, if you look at the delinquencies, they're basically backlogs from before the COVID situation got dire. Just as a refresher, if you were already behind on your payment, you couldn't qualify for forbearance, whilst you couldn't get foreclosed upon either. So a person in this situation was basically stuck in limbo. I said limbo, not Lambo. And this is where Civvl is hedging its bets, along with the natural runoff of the foreclosure and eviction process. Now, I personally don't think that this is a precursor to a market crash. Will there be some corrections and some rocky waters ahead? Yeah, and we have to plan in advance for that. With that said, there is no magic 8-ball to look into the future, so don't just take my word as gospel. Do your own due diligence. Anyway, I don't know if you saw the news segment on Civvl, but there was a gentleman on there that was basically evicting an elderly woman. And he said, as horrible as I feel, today, this is happening to her. If I didn't have this job tomorrow, this could be me. I need this job. And that struck a chord with me. Yes, kicking someone out must not be a good feeling, and I get that we all need jobs because we all have bills to pay, but I've always been a believer that we should have a job that we do out of passion and desire, not out of hard-pressed necessity. And look, I get it, we've all had those shit jobs that whip us into shape and make us look for long-term solutions. I've done powder coating, valet, kitchen staff, overnight room service. I even worked at an egg processing plant. That egg processing plant job was probably the worst because I still gag at the sight of eggs to this day. But this is why I make these videos, because I want to show people that real estate investing is more obtainable than they think. And when done right, can prevent you from being backed into a corner and being forced into a job that bleeds your soul. Does it take some sacrifice? Yes, it does. But what doesn't? Anyway, question of the day. What are your thoughts on Civvl? And if you're a landlord, are you considering using their services? Go ahead and comment in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And that is it for this particular video, folks. If you found this video informative or entertaining, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out this channel, and I appreciate every single one of you. If you want to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing on real estate, go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. If you want to watch some more of my real estate related content, I'm going to go ahead and link it here and here. Other than that, catch you guys next week. Peace.